All right, what's going on, fitness coaches? My name is Andrew Wilkes. I am an online fitness coach turned online fitness coach. And today I'm going to show you guys exactly why it's so important. One, how to find your ideal client profile, so your ICP. That's important for the rest of the video because I'm going to be summing this up. And then on top of that, exactly how to make content that's going to attract not only your ICP, but the high-paying version of your ICP. Okay, so you can sell those high-ticket prices like all of us want to sell, because none of us want to be scraping for those $100 a month payments, right? So with that being said, let's just get right into it, okay? All right, perfect. So right now we're going to start off right here, okay? Let me click this, zoom out, okay. So the first thing we have to understand is how to identify your niche and why it's important to actually slow down and shrink down on your niche rather than, just shooting for everybody. You shoot for a target demographic, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that, who to actually target, and why it's important, and just the basics. Okay, so here we're gonna start here, just so you have a key, right? I learned this in geography when they showed me the map of the key. So that's boom. I did go to school, high school dropout, but we're still using it. So right here we have our niche, right? Our niche is going to be our circle, right? You are going to be the star because you're a star, and then you're the center of attention. And then from there, we have our leads. Our leads are going to be the little red diamonds on this diaphragm, okay? Oh, shit. Toss that bitch in. All right. Bet. So let's get to it. Okay, so right here, this is your niche. It's massive, right? Right now, the niche is massive, and look how far away all of your leads actually are. Right, these little red diamonds, look how far they are from you, right? They're super far. They're not close to you. They're in a different solar system, right? If you're a star and these are planets, they're in a different solar system, and you're not even contacting them, and you're not touching them. And the reason they're so far, right? Let me break this down for you. So the reason they're so far is because you're using sayings like "I'm a fitness coach," or "I'm a coach," or "I'm a weight loss coach," right? Super vague things that aren't going to bring in an exact person. So there's so many people, and you're so far away from those people that it comes down to it, and it's like you're just in this circle here screaming all day going, hey, I'm a coach, hey, I'm a coach, hey, I'm a coach, hey, I'm a coach, or hey, I'm a weight loss coach, hey, I'm a weight loss coach, hey, I'm a weight loss coach, and you're getting no real reach and no real engagement and no real traction and no real shot at these people, because you're limiting yourself to such a small demographic or such a large demographic of people that they're just so far away from you because there's no relatability. There's nothing bringing them to you as a professional. So it doesn't matter how many DMs you shoot out, how many pieces of content you make, you're constantly going to be cut short from them because you're so far away with your direction and who you're targeting, right? You're getting stuck just shooting all these shots, shooting all these DMs, shooting all the content, all those things, and you're not hitting them the right way. Right? You're not actually reaching them. That one was pretty close, but you're not reaching them, right? So if you're wondering how to fix that, this is exactly how, okay? So now look at the different sizes from the niche of I'm a coach, I'm a weight loss coach, versus now that you're shrinking down the niche, and now I help men lacking motivation find discipline, right? Smaller niche. Now you're focusing on men and they're lacking discipline, right? Or they're lacking the motivation, you help them find discipline. So, or you can go into the niche of I help men naturally boost their test, right? That's a big niche right now because a lot of guys, there's that question of oh, do I hop on TRT? Oh, do I do this? So that's a really big one that's been working for a lot of guys recently, is really focusing on just finding a demographic that needs help that not everybody is helping or can help. So can you help them? Whatever you can help, target them exactly. And it's going to be a smaller demographic, and I'm going to show you why that's beneficial, okay? So the reason it's beneficial is because now, instead of this big ass niche that you're in, that you put yourself in by being vague and just being a weight loss coach or being a fitness coach or anything like that, and being vague and being open and just being everywhere, now you're directly targeted. Now you're smaller and you're bigger in the niche, and you're in a smaller niche, which makes you bigger. You didn't grow, but the niche shrank around you. Right? And now the niche pushes all of your leads in because those leads are directed towards what you're looking for in your niche. So there's tightened into that niche. It's going to hold them there, right? So let me walk you through this. So now, just like up here, how we were far away and we weren't reaching, now what you can do is now, since you're so close, now you're actually going like this, right? And you're able to hit them with like boom, 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 right? These are all men that have that, right? They have that low motivation. They're trying to find discipline. Now you're hitting them, right? Or let's say these are guys with low testosterone, right? And they're considering hopping on TRT or anything like that, which is also good because that's usually the older demographic who feel like at their old age and their testosterone's going low and they feel like shit all the time. They need to pin their asshole with fucking needles all day, right? So now what you're doing is you're targeting them via the content, via the things, via the offer. That's targeting them, so you're in a smaller niche and a smaller demographic. So now you're, again, able to reach them, right? Able to reach them a lot easier. It's way closer of a reach. So now all your content that's targeted towards them is going to hit because that target in the middle of them is right there rather than being so far away that you just don't hit them, right? Same size of line, right, from the middle to them, but instead of it being so far away with the same reach, now you're actually so close to them that it's hitting them. Make sense? So now what do you do once you discover that? So now that you understand that, the next phase is beautiful. So the next phase makes it very simple. So now that you know what niche you're in, right? Now you, now that you understand how to like the reasoning we go for smaller niches and smaller demographics, now it's time for me to help you find that demographic and find that smaller niche, right? So how to find your niche, right? How to find your niche is through your ICP. So you want to find your niche is your ideal client profile, right? Like we talked about earlier. So that is right here, right? How you're going to find that is you're going to want to understand and find who is your best client, who's going to be your best client, who you're going to get the best results for, and that you can sum into this, right? You can characterize them. So what are their characteristics, right? So what's their age, right? What's their gender? What's their location? What's their lifestyle or job? And what are their pain points, right? And once you discover those, now you're going to have an exact demographic, right? So let's say your exact demographic is 31, right? Male, their location, USA, because you don't want those guys who are from a country where their dollar isn't worth as much because they're not going to be able to afford the high ticket. Hell, most guys, if they're paying with rupa or rupia or whatever it is, they're like your low ticket will be more than their yearly salary. So you have to understand who you're targeting and who your target demographic is, right? So job and lifestyle, right? Lifestyle is you know, they're probably not oh, we lost connection and got it back. Okay. Sorry, that was gross. I'm fucking dying here. It's like super late. We've been on calls all day. Sorry. But yeah, so what's their job, right? Think about it. Like you kind of want to lean more towards like the higher paying jobs. That's why we go towards like the 31-year-old age demographic because they're going to be working more, you know, the higher paying jobs than like working at a retail, like a Nike store, like a Subway. They're going to be working more like office jobs, right? So let's say you want to go, you know, office, like an office job, right? From the US, right? They're male, right? They're 31 plus, right? And now what are their pain points, right? Their pain points you're going to have to understand by going, what are they desperate to solve? Those are going to be their pain points, right? So you want to go into their pain points. Those are going to be things like belly fat, fatigue, right? Their emotional pains, like their insecurities, right? Their fear of aging, the lack of confidence, and the shame that they have of their current position. Those are going to be their pain points, okay? So now you understand that. You can kind of make content that leans more towards that, right? Step 3 or section 3 would be, what do they secretly want, right? What are their secret desires, right? That they don't share, that you have to discover through their pain points, right? So now that you know their pain points, you understand their core desires as well, right? So they're gonna want, a guy in that demographic is gonna want control over his life, power over his decisions, and take pride in who he is in his physique and as a man. And then it's gonna kind of be they're looking for that, like that kind of this changed my life moment, right? That's what they're going to be looking for, right? And what are their buying triggers? Their buying triggers are going to be things, right, that are like, things that woke them up, things that you can kind of like touch on is like, oh, well, they saw a bad photo of themselves and they want to make a change. Okay, they had a health scare. They want to make a change, right? They're tired of their past failures. They want to make a change because they tried things before. FOMO, maybe they're so out of shape that they can't go on trips with their friends, or they can't go on a roller coaster with their friends, or they don't feel comfortable taking off their shirt when all their friends and family do at the beach, stuff like that. So that would be kind of leading into the insecurity as well. So from there, now what moves them to buy, right? So now you have to kind of lean on the conversation accelerators, things to kind of get them to open up and lean in. So, right, you kind of want to be bold, you want to be direct, and you want to be results-based with the kind of thinking and saying that you have. You want to push them through bold and direct statements that you make. You want to lead them down a results-based mindset. Okay? So a results-based mindset is basically getting them away from thinking about the hard work and all that stuff and all that mumbo-jumbo they see on Instagram, all those stupid diets and all those, you need to spend fucking 6 hours in the gym a day, brother. All that kind of stuff that scares them away. And you need to them thinking about the results at the end of the tunnel, right? Not the actual tunnel. Because that forest for them is going to look scary, but that light at the end of the tunnel, at the edge of the forest, that light, that's what you're selling. That castle at the edge of the dark forest, that's what you're selling. You're not selling the dark forest. Your thing is to hold a torch so they can hold on to you through that dark forest, right? So you do that with things like risk reducers. What are risk reducers? So risk reducers would be like proof, right? So proof that it works. Systems, so showing them the systems of how they're going to get there step by step, and a guarantee. So like, I guarantee you, if you do the steps, you are going to see the progress you want to see. Because at the end of the day, fitness is just science. And if they, do what you say as a fitness coach, like do your cardio, do your workouts, and track your macros, it's a guarantee that they're going to see results. And that's why we track everything, right? That's why we make sure we get them on tracking apps and platforms like that, like Trainerize, where you can track and see everything that they do, right? So you also want to use things like relatable transformations, like the relatable transformation stories. So say you helped a client in the past that had the same thing. You use that transformation and you share their story, whether it's your dad or something like that, or an actual client that you worked with in the past that was in a similar position. You can either show their transformation or tell their story to them. Doing both is how you get better results, right? So section 6 would be design your offer strictly for them. So offer alignment. So offer alignment is basically taking your ICP and making an offer that makes sense for them, right? So what you do, the steps, what their end result would be, stuff like that, right? So how do you do that? You find out what their emotional pains are, which you already did. You find out the transformation they're looking for, and you make sure that what you are offering is compatible with their lifestyle, right? And then you make deliverables off of that. So you make their workout plan, their meal preps, their everything, their sleep schedule, everything that they do. It needs to be compatible with their lifestyle, because these people aren't trying to drop everything and be like a bodybuilder overnight. They're just trying to have a healthy lifestyle. So you make it compatible with their lifestyle. Make sense? Okay. So then your deliverables, like what you offer, have to align with the lifestyle that they have in the lifestyle that they desire, so that you're not changing their entire life. You're just making their new life easier. Okay. So now that you've done that, your ICP is going to be discovered. Okay. What do you do after you find your ICP, right? After you find your ICP, it's time to make a content structure, right? And the content structure basically is a funnel system. I'll show you that right now. The content, it's a funnel, right? So this funnel starts with the top. It goes mid, goes to your stories, and goes to your DMs, and that will lead ultimately to a sale, right? Which at the end of the day is kind of the goal, is to sell high ticket coaching, right? So at the top of your funnel, what you're going to kind of want is you're going to want the things that might go viral, the actual like virality content, the shock factor content, the things that like are motivational, transformational, viral, trending, stuff like that, right? That's going to be your top of the funnel, right? That's going to be what we like to call maybe your 60% content. So what you post 60% of the time. And that's going to be kind of like, let's say you post, 8 videos, 6 of them, or 8 videos, 6 of them are going to be that, right? Or something like that. If you post 100, 60 of them are going to be that, right? And then the rest is going to be your mid of the funnel. The mid funnel right here, the mid funnel is going to be directed towards your coaching. So giving actual advice on your niche. So again, let's say you are doing the test boosting niche, right? You're doing the natural test boosting niche right here, right? So from there, now your mid-funnel content is going to be stuff like the test boosting, right? Like actual advice on how to boost your T, right? Actual advice on how to boost your testosterone, right? So, you want to give tips and tricks, diet plans, meal routines. Don't eat this, right? Stop killing your test by eating this. You want to give things that are actually going to hit them with their ultimate goal, right? And also mention things like pain points, because content needs to be emotional. It can't just be knowledge. You have to draw them in with the emotion, whether it's the negative emotion they're feeling, and then give a solution via the value, okay? And that's going to be your value content, right? That's kind of your bread and butter of coaching. That's going to bring them in and show your knowledge and build trust. So this funnels them into this, right? And then from here, you can see where to go next, which are your stories. And from your stories, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to nurture them. You're going to want to use your stories as like a reality TV show where you talk about what you show off the lifestyle that they're desiring, and you talk about the steps that it takes and the different little tips and tricks, and you do that daily. I recommend like 7 to 12 stories just of like nurturing. On top of that, you want to toss out these two things, okay? These two things are going to be your polls, right? Your polls, that's bad. And then you want to do your questions, right? Your questions. So your polls and your questions, what they're going to be for is, let's say you want to do a poll. Your poll are going to be like, what are you struggling with, right? And it's going to be based off of the stuff you were just talking about on your story. That's going to nurture them so that they feel more comfortable actually talking about or responding to the poll, because now you have knowledge. It's not just you asking a question. Now they can tell you have knowledge on the facts. So now you go, what are you struggling with? Diet, low energy, lack of motivation, right? Things that correlate to having low testosterone. So from there, whenever they respond, you can make a story, the next one about it, send it to them, and then that story is you can send it to them and be like, hey man, I saw you respond to the poll. Here's actually a piece of content that's going to help you out with that, with X, Y, and Z, whatever they're needing help with. From then, you can also go another route with the questions, right? The questions are going to be very similar. So after nurturing, after giving all that advice via the nurturing content, now you can lead it into the things like asking questions, where they can ask you blunt questions. These are the easiest. If you fuck these up, you're losing leads so easily. So try it like this. Okay, so what you want to do is with your questions, you want them to reply. When they give you a question, you answer with a video next, replying to the question that they gave you. Give the best information, the most value. Don't hold anything back. And then you want to send that to them and say, hey man, I got your question. I made this video hoping it helps. If you need more information or more questions, let me know. And then from there, you give them more content, more feedback, more responses. Don't send paragraphs, send voice notes. It's more personable, and you can get more information off without sounding like pushy or overdone, right? Because it's just more organic that way, rather than just sending them a paragraph and scaring them off. And then you can even say, hey, if you have any more questions, send them some content their way that you've already made. Okay, sending that, it's going to build a lot of trust. And then you want to, what that does, doing those questions and polls, it funnels into the next phase, which are the DMs, which is what I just went over. You organically nurture them through your content that you've already made and answering their questions that are going to actually help them, rather than just being super vague. You help them personally, and you help them with exactly what they're asking for and exactly what they need, right? From then, it builds a lot of trust. And then from there, you can go give them some stuff, be like, do you have any questions? Yeah, X, Y, and Z. Oh, dude, absolutely. After they ask, do you have any questions about the content? Yes, X, Y, and Z. Or, no, honestly, it was great. Perfect, brother. If you have any more questions, let me know. Oh, yeah, actually, of course. What about this? Well, what do you eat? Should I avoid this, right? Oh, yeah, dude, the video is pretty vague and quick. If you want more information, dude, I'd be happy to hop on a call sometime, but let me just ask you, like, what are your struggles? And then you kind of offer the call and reflect it. Now you go over their current struggles, so you actually help them in the DMs and give them as much free value and as much help as possible. And then it's super easy after that to simply just go into the next phase, which is the sale call, right? And once you get that, now you get a sale. And that's about as simple as it gets when it comes to building it, like understanding the difference between a large niche and niching. So this would be considered a large niche right here. This is a large niche right here. Doing things like these, that's going to bring it into a a niched down niche where it's just you and it's targeting the exact person, right? And then I hope that helps understanding exactly how to build out your ICP through this content. Once that's discovered, that's how you make the content structure and lead them into a sales call via your content structure. If you need more information on actually how to coach them online and not just how to get clients and leads, I can make a video on that, or you can click the link in the description and book a one-to-one call with me and I can walk you through exactly how to do that. Again, there is more content on the YouTube, so just click a link. There's a couple things on my YouTube that go over offer creation, how to nurture. It's way more in depth. This is kind of a vague thing going over exactly how to find your niche down, build it for your ICP, and make content directed towards them, getting them on the sales call. But once you're on the sales call, you're going to need to know exactly what you offer. So we do have a full 10K guide to offer creation on the YouTube. I recommend you watch that or click the link in the description. And obviously you can hop on a call with me and we can go over everything and I can teach you how to do it for yourself. Okay. So with that being said, have a great day. I love you. God loves you. Kill as a fitness coach. Peace.